Hello everyone, my name is Thomas Jr. here, aka Mustached, and I'm here to review Angel Has Fallen. This is the third movie of A Thing Has Fallen. I believe the first one was, London Has Fallen was the second one, and then, was it America Has Fallen was the first one? Oh man, I barely remember this series. I remember the second name a little bit more, but I don't remember a lot of what happened in that movie. To be honest, all I know is it's Gerald Butler as bodyguard guy and Morgan Freeman as the president. So, in this movie, the third in the installment, we have once again Gerald Butler playing Mike something. I forgot what his last name was, but nonetheless, he's the security guard of the president. He's getting worn down, has to take the pills, getting old, but he's still up for the job. So they're going out to some resort beach place because that's where the president is going after some of his policies are being put in place for something or other. I forget what exactly his policy was. Something about like some future thing or whatever. Doesn't really matter all too much. All you really need to know is that when they get to this place and they have all their security guards there, they seemingly get attacked. And this is after a very clear opening of Gerard Butler going through this opening scene where we see him going through some sort of super like big area where all these other guys are like trying to stop him, but it's like this like I guess I don't know what you would call it. The name is escaping me. It's sort of uh, like a play test. I don't know what you again. I'm not sure what the official term would be. Um, but anyways, it's all for practice essentially. So after that, we meet the guy that you obviously got to know is going to be the villain of the movie, or at least one of them anyway. So we see that an attack happens on the president's guards. We see all these drones fly out into the air, shoot out like all these rockets or whatever, because drones can do that, I guess. Um, so they all get attacked. Gerard Butler's character obviously survives. The president survives, but they are in a bad condition. So they are both sent to the hospital. Mike, I believe again is his name, wakes up first, um, and he gets out uh, after getting questioned and after people starting to assume this one FBI agent in particular, I think her name was like Halen or something, that was accusing him of being responsible for the president's the situation in the first place. So it's one of those bad, like, we are at this point of the badass guy who comes to save the day is now being blamed for doing his duty in the line and has to go against the bad, corrupt policies and guards and all that stuff. We have seen this sort of circumstance before, or at least I have, so this is nothing new. And unfortunately, I don't think this is a very good version of that either, as there is definitely quite a few moments where it does seem so unbelievable. Like, even if you do buy like the drones like somehow attack them or whatever, if you can get by that, there is a scene where he is not. It's at night. They're at a he's at a gas station after he escapes the clutches of these initial people chasing him. After he escapes and stuff like that, so he's at this gas station. There are like three guys who end up like stopping him there. He doesn't have any guns on him. He has three guns trained on him from three different directions, or at least two at the start, and then another guy joins in with another gun. He somehow manages to trick one of the guys to get behind all from like at a certain distance trick him up to getting up close, snatching his gun away, shooting near the other guy, and then tricking or shooting at the other guy as well, and also getting out of that. Again, this is all starting without a gun, and he somehow got out of that situation completely unharmed. So I thought that scene was pretty unbelievable, in terms of just like, he wouldn't have been able to get out of that, but it's not even the only scene that is just like, no, I'm not buying that. He escapes some more. He eventually goes into like empty woods, whereverville, and meets his father. I don't know if this father was like established in the other movies. I don't really care. The father is obviously this outcluse, out in the middle of nowhere. He's like one of those guys who doesn't trust in, what's been going on with the government and stuff, with one of those character archetypes, because he's been through it all or whatever. So, he joins up with his father. They have their little moment, but they don't have a lot of time because his former friend at the beginning of the movie, the opposing guy, I think his name was like Wade. So Wade is out there honing in on his location. He sends his men. So the dad had the place rigged to explode some time ago. He's setting off all these bombs while Mr. Butler is getting off the kills that he can, while also avoiding all these explosions that his father is clearly setting off, so I don't think it was really necessary, but he's like trying to do his own thing or whatever. So he gets out of that. He goes with his father for a bit more, and then after a bit says goodbye. And so he's trying to get back to the hospital, trying to get back to the president to secure him, because this team of Wade bad guys plus bad guys is going after the president still, as well as the new president, who is the vice president who became the president, is the bad guy. This is very reminiscent of that game I've been seeing a lot more of, with the guy who yells, "Richard!" The name is escaping me right now, and, I do it because I'm the president of the United States of America. That's very reminiscent, and I wish I think that game should just be made into a movie at this point. Nonetheless, apologies for the bad cut. Getting interrupted again. I really hate when that happens. Nothing really I can do about it except get upset and tell people that it happens. Anyways, I was talking about how they're making their way to the hospital. The bad guys are. So Gerard Butler has to get there first. So he does, after, his moment with his dad and whatever. So he does manage to get there first. And he sets up his little team after convincing the president that he's still on his side after getting all this blame. So they're trying to escape while these bad guys somehow got the hospital that he happened to get into to explode. Whatever. So the place is going to explode, so they have to get out quick. So they manage to do that as well. They lose some guys along the way as a gun out happens. He brings the president to a separate location, a separate building. He essentially has his team set up on one corner while he purposely hides the president in the opposite side. So pretty much his men are sort of sacrificial lamb, unfortunately, but that is what actually ends up being the scenario here. While he's working his way in this now empty area to take out the bad guys that are coming in. So he manages to take them out. the remaining bad guys, including the main one, except the vice president who became the president, Wade there, are going up the stairs trying to get to this helicopter. So as he Butler secures that area. He makes his way up to where they are going to be, but a grenade comes down, and he only has this one human dead body, so he hides behind the dead body, but he hits the ceiling when the grenade goes off, and, you know, a grenade, I don't know, I think that would still kill you even if you were hiding behind a dead body partially. I think that would still kill you. I'm pretty sure it would. I don't know. That's just me. I'm not a grenade expert, so I could be wrong. Okay, I'm just taking a wild guess here in the dark on that one and saying that probably would have killed the character. Nonetheless, he survives. He gets up pretty quickly as well, on top of being blasted into a wall by a grenade, only hidden behind one corpse. So he gets to the roof. They're gunning each other out, or trying to gun each other out. It's unsuccessful. They have to move in for the CQC. Butler or Mike and Wade there. So Mike gets a pretty flaccid, well, at least it starts to look like a pretty flaccid stab, but it ends up being a vital spot. It almost looked a little anticlimactic at first, and then you see he's dead, kind of just happen. And the dad just somehow happens, by the way, we see this later, happens to find the mother, or the wife of the main character and their daughter. So, they reconcile there. After Butler has a gun from that dead corpse that had a grenade conveniently in there, so he was able to shoot the helicopter, and that's why that whole gun out section into the knife CQC section happened. So after that, after the day is saved, after Mike has done it all once more for the third time now, and hopefully final time, he decides he wants to resign, figures it's time, tells the president all the truths of the being slowed down by the medication, blah blah blah, all this other stuff, etc. etc. The president gets the vice president arrested, has him walked out of the office, and then you have the little family reunion. And I think that was the end of Angel Has Fallen. And again, there were a few pretty unbelievable moments here. I think the obvious stronger one was the three guys holding him up, and none of them got the beat on to just take him down right then and there. Pretty ridiculous. So, there are pretty ridiculous moments in this movie. I think the action is a bit calmed down. We have a much older character here, so you gotta slow it down a bit. CQC isn't even, again, not too impressive by any measure. The gun fighting is a little bit sloppy too, just a little bit. Some of it's fine, I guess. And you have the realistic scenario of this has happened 3 times now to the president. I don't think that would ever happen to a president 3 times, obviously, but we're talking about movies here. So in a movie scenario, it's obviously fiction. It's obviously going to happen, and in the sort of we're going to create this sort of world where this can happen a lot more often. We still have. Even under those circumstances, even if you can buy that, there are still some pretty ridiculous things that happen in this movie, unfortunately. So, I think it's decent. Meh, I want to say more so. A 5 out of 10 is exactly what I'm trying to say here. Just, bare meh. So, that is my review of Angel Has Fallen. And if you enjoyed my review, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure to check out those links in the description. One will head over to my Discord server, the other to my Patreon page. Any donations are greatly appreciated. And until next time, everyone, bye-bye.